Rowan Wells had hiked into places no one dared to map. As a wildlife photographer, she loved forgotten forests where nature took back what people abandoned. So when she heard about Black Hollow, a lost village deep in the Appalachian wilderness, she was hooked. Locals warned her not to go. "That place ain't empty," said one gas station clerk. "You'll hear the bell. If you hear it ring, don't answer." Rowan laughed it off as backwoods superstition as she found the trailhead on a faded logging road. No signs, no path markers, just trees whispering old secrets. For hours she reached Black Hollow, a ghost town swallowed by vines in time, collapsed cabins, an old church, a dried-up well. But what chilled her most was the bell tower in the center. It was made of black iron, rusted but intact. Its bell hung silent. Rowan set up camp near the edge of the hollow that night. Her fire refused to stay lit, and at exactly 2:47 a.m. the bell rang. Once, long, low. She sat up, heart pounding. There was no wind, no animals, just the bell's echo hanging in the trees like fog. She waited. Nothing followed. Still, she couldn't sleep. The next morning, she explored. Inside the church, she found names etched into the walls. Hundreds. All scratched in the same hand, all ending in the same phrase. Answered the bell. The deeper she explored, the more wrong it felt. Birds flew in circles above the bell tower. Shadows stretched in the wrong direction. She took photos, but when she checked them, each one showed something off. Figures standing in the windows. Faces peering from empty homes. In one photo, a man in a mask of bark and moss stood behind her. She turned, breath frozen. No one there that night. She heard the bell again. 2:47 a.m. 3 rings, this time low, wet, too close. She zipped her tent shut. A voice came from the dark, soft and sticky like mold. 1 ring wakes me. 2 rings calls me. 3 rings means I see you. Rowan held her breath. From the woods came footsteps, then scratching against her tent, then stillness. She passed out from fear. She awoke in the morning with dirt under her nails and the smell of iron on her hands. There were no footprints around her tent, but a fresh name was scratched into the bark of a tree nearby. Rowan Wells answered the bell. Rowan tried to leave. She packed before sunrise and took the same path she'd hiked in. But the forest had changed. No landmarks, no birdsong, no end to the trees. She walked for hours, no signal, no sun through the canopy, and somehow she ended up back at the bell tower. The iron bell stood still, but her name was now scratched into the base in fresh grooves, as though by fingernails. Rowan Wells answered the bell. She screamed into the trees. No echo. No response. Only the low creak of iron above her, and a 4th bell toll. This time it didn't echo. It pulsed inside her skull, her lungs, her bones. She dropped to her knees, coughing up black water. The sound stopped. And then came the voice again. 4 rings spined flesh for the forest, bones for the roots. She stumbled into the church again. The names on the wall had multiplied. Many were crossed out with deep, bloody slashes. A few weren't hers, wasn't. Not yet at the altar. She found a photograph, a recent one. It showed her inside her tent, sleeping, and something crawling into it. Something tall and wrapped in wet bark with fingers like roots and a bell cord wound around its neck. She ran to the bell tower. She had to stop it, burn it, break it, something. But as she reached for the cord, her hand passed through it. It was no longer iron. It was flesh, pale stitched, still warm. And when she touched it, her skin began to blacken, not burn, rot. She saw them, then the others' figures, standing silently at the forest's edge. Dozens, hundreds. Skin like tree bark, eyes sewn shut, mouths open as if still ringing. They were the villagers. All of them. Still here, still answering from behind her. The bellkeeper emerged, not running, not chasing, just walking, calmly. Its face was blank, woven of vines and ash and bone, but its voice was every voice she'd ever heard. Friends, family, even her own. "You heard it. That means you belong. The bell does not ring for no one." Rowan ran into the church and locked the door. She tore down the names from the wall, lit the pews with her last match. Flames rose. The church groaned. The air filled with hers, not human, the trees themselves howling. But even over the fire, she heard it, the final bell. 5th toll. This one inside her chest. Everything went dark. She awoke in the ashes. No fire damage, no smoke. Just her lying in the center of the church. No photos. No bell. No scratches. But when she walked outside, the forest had vanished, and so had the path. She wasn't in Black Hollow anymore. She was part of it. Weeks later, hikers found her camera nailed to a tree miles from any trail. The last photo showed the bell tower. No Rowan. But in the window above the bell, there was a shape, half human, bark-skinned, staring at the lens. In her voice, distorted by static, the last audio recording said, "If you hear the bell, don't answer. Not even once."